the Miami Dolphins, guys, who listen, you get excited about them, go ahead. Have fun with it. I'm not going to, at least not now. And they draw a tough matchup in week 1. Speaking of knockout pools, because they got to go to Seattle to face the Seahawks, a Seahawks team that we universally believe are loaded, a 10-12 win type team. So they're not the type of team with the 12s out that are going to drop an easily winnable game against the Dolphins of all teams in week 1, right? This is going to be a cakewalk. Wes?
I'm looking for reasons to believe that the Dolphins have a chance, and I'm not finding many. But this is a game. If you're Miami, there's a lot of pressure to get your season started on the right foot, because in the first 4 weeks they have at Seattle, at New England, Cleveland at home, and then at Cincinnati. So if you say there are basically 9 Super Bowl contenders this year, they play 3 of them on the road in the first month.
One of them without Tom Brady, but I see your point.
Right. I think you could argue it's a brutal start, but if you're gonna play the Seahawks in Seattle, which is on the schedule, week 1 might be the time you want to do it, because Seattle, at least last year, started off slowly, 0-2, right? But they lost to the Rams. Well, we thought they were going to be great last year.
Well, we also
their offense, especially every single year in the Russell Wilson era, has started slow. The defense usually has started slow and then finished the season strong.
It's fair.
The question, though, do you feel like what happened with that offense over the second half of last year, that they kind of found out who they were and there'll be less continuity issues? The concern for me with Seattle is more, again, we've seen them, Russell Wilson, thrive behind a shoddy offensive line, but they've already lost their rookie guard, and they're shuffling the line around. There's people that have barely played stepping in there. That's a concern, because this is a very good Miami defensive line.
If people didn't have faith in Tom Cable, their assistant head coach, O-line coach, I mean, this would be the worst offensive line in the league on paper.
Oh, I mean, it is on paper.
That's a problem.
But he makes it work. It seems like it doesn't matter who's out there. It just seems to work.
I have zero concerns about the Seahawks.
Over under, Wes. Arian Foster, 30 rushing yards.
Oh, I go over comfortably.
How about over under Kristen Michael rushing yards, 100?
I think we know the answer to what Wes will say.
Well, but Thomas Rawls is healthy too. It sounds like they do want to give him work.
I'll say over 100 total yards.
Wow.
Okay.
You're back in on Arian Foster, it sounds like. You think he's going to
30 yards is an awfully low barometer.
I think
in Seattle, if you fall behind,
Seattle,
I could see them moving the ball a little bit. Think they're going to play a lot of hurry up, because I think they're going to fall behind because of what you said. I mean, the young receiver group in Seattle is fun to watch, and this secondary for Miami might be the worst secondary in the league. They're counting on Xavier Howard, who's barely practiced as a professional to be a starter, and they have a bunch of guys who they don't want to put on the field that are going to be on the field in nickel and dime.
That's a good formula.